Hello and welcome to the Atlantic Sim Racing League. We are back for another night with round 6 at Daytona International Speedway. Hello and welcome to round 6 of the Atlantic Sim Racing League. Tonight we are here at Daytona International Speedway. Right now we are seeing the GR86 cars out on the track setting their laps to determine our starting grid. After these 4 minutes are up, we'll then see our GT3s come on out and give us their best shot. Should be another great night of the ASRL here. We're seeing Adam Benoit setting the fastest lap so far by 100th of a second. So far this season, he's shown us such strong stuff. He's been on the top of the leaderboard all the time. Talking about him a lot. We're seeing him everywhere. Postma has given a great show. Last race, he had a bit If you're here watching, go ahead and drop a hello in the chat. Say hi. Who do we got? We're seeing some pretty consistent stuff out of these qualifying laps. Not too much movement here. Hello, Nico. Good to see you in the chat. That honestly, it sounds better than being here. So, congrats to you. Hey, Round Dog. To give us a little bit of a background on the track here, tonight, obviously, we're at Daytona International Speedway, also known as the World Center of Racing. 5.7 kilometers of grueling track with 14 turns, 10 of those being made up on the infield, and 4 of those being those huge banks before the massive 31-degree turns. I was reading earlier that apparently the fans from the very top row of the stadium can actually see the Atlantic Ocean. So wave wherever you are and maybe our drivers will see you. With only 30 seconds left in our GR86 qualifying, we're seeing pretty consistent stuff. Jeremy Mazarol jumped up the leaderboard there, but Adam Benoit is still cutting time off of his lap. So I think it's at this point safe to say that he will be out in the lead for the GR86s. Soon here, we'll start to see our our GT3 cars come out onto the track, setting their out laps, and then we'll get into the real stuff. Here's Nate Campbell, who's shown us such an incredible season so far. He's led almost every race, won a few of them, if it weren't for Matt Jones, and we're excited to see what he's going to have to show us tonight. Here we come with our GR86s finishing up their laps. And look at that. I said Jeremy jumped up, but Tim O'Connor and Tristan Keeping took their spots back. They were going to have none of that. And we are seeing Nate Campbell, I believe, on his first lap here. No, coming around the back straight for his first lap. And just one more GR86, James Barrington, to come in and set his final lap. And I don't see any movement there. If you are one of the followers on Instagram, you've probably seen Nate Campbell's hot lap, practice lap, whatever you want to call it, that he was so gracious enough to provide me with yesterday. Definitely one of the ones to watch out for. And as we see another new name, Justin Kane, joining us tonight. And Dave Pickram, who I have not seen either. So we have lots of new faces tonight. Let's see what they can do. Let's see. Is Max Cuddy racing tonight? I don't see him on the list. Could possibly be joining late, I'm not sure, but not right now. If you're new here, drop in the chat what province you're going to be supporting tonight. With only 7 minutes left to go in our GT3 qualifying, we don't have... Oh, there we go. We have our first lap set with Nate Campbell with a 146.387. Let's see what the rest of these guys can do. And it seems we have a little bit of a late joiner for our GR86, but that's okay. He seems to be new, and he might have missed the chat that was just put out. So no worries on that one. Hopefully our front runners of our GT3 can make their way around him safely. And we're seeing some more laps in Renee French. Renee French with a super strong lap. 0.03 of a second off of Nate. Takes first place with Sean Perry just behind him in third. We've seen lots of good stuff out of him. He's always super consistent. Never misses a beat. Richard behind him. There's 3 Richards that sometimes come out here, so it's a little tough to keep them straight, but we have Tyler and Tristan. Tristan in the Aston Martin and Tyler in the Porsche. No, sorry, Travis and Tyler tonight, not Tristan. I thought I saw him as well, but we'll see. We'll hold on. Nova Scotia, good to see. We have lots of Nova Scotia drivers here tonight. Notably, Adam Benoit, our front runner in the GR86. Who else do we got on the field? Adrian Werson in the GT3 is from Nova Scotia. And a handful of others here. And we're seeing some movement there. Adrian Werson, who I just mentioned, Nova Scotia in first place with 100th of a second off of Renee French's time. They're just getting quicker and quicker here. Tyler going through the bus stop with Travis right on his tail. And Durden, we've not seen a whole lot from him. He's kind of been a little sheepish, but hopefully we see some good stuff tonight. He's been super strong in our Assetto Corsa League. He's taken the pole sitter position multiple times, and I think still holds it at this very minute. So let's see what he can do on iracing. If you're just joining us, here we are at Daytona International Speedway for round... And again, Adrian Werson takes it back. Oh, and there's Tristan Richard. I'm not sure. He's not appearing on my score sheet here. But I suppose we have 3 Richards here tonight. And there's Adrian with the fastest lap. Nice green livery. Kyle Scott running a little bit wide there. Hopefully it doesn't affect the time too much. And he can move up from 9th position there. He's so close to all the other front runners in front of him. Nate Campbell is going to be sweating at home. He definitely does not want to be starting back in 5th. And here we go with just a minute left. We're seeing all of our GT3s coming around that back side of the track there. With a small handful just starting up their laps. We'll see if we have any more movement for tonight. We've got some very strong fields tonight, folks. I thought I saw 13 drivers out on the track for the GT3 and 9 drivers in the GR86, so it should be a very good race here. Lots of chaos, lots of commotion, and we'll see what our Atlantic Canadian drivers can do. Just a minute left. We're coming into the final seconds of qualifying. Renee French early on set the fastest lap, but has since dropped back a little bit. And even in front of Nate Campbell. Nate Campbell's been pushed even farther down. So we'll see how that shakes up. And we're not seeing a whole lot of movement there, so it's kind of looking like our final grid is going to see Adrian Werson up front with Tyler Richards right next to him. To walk you through our format, we got 40 minutes of racing here with one rolling start with a formation lap to begin, and then green flag, and off we go. There's Travis Richard in the second Porsche of the Richard boys. The Guinness logo, Canada flag on the top. Dave Pickram, another new guy. I love the livery, super sharp. If you're wondering where our original and usual commentator is tonight, Thomas Groves, in Belgium at the 24 Hours of Spa, and I hope he's having fun there. I'm sure he's going to be watching this later. So shout out to Thomas. We do miss him here tonight. And look at that, Nate Campbell takes not even like a 50th of a second off. That's crazy. I said we see lots of good stuff out of him, and he really did show us. So the two BMWs in the front row there. Tyler Richard, behind him. Renee French in fourth. Then we got Sean Perry, who's, I'm super impressed. Strong qualifying. Glad to see him up there. Hope to see him in some good battles tonight. Jacob Durden, another strong name. We'll see. Tristan Richard behind him in seventh, followed by Mason McDonald, and then we'll see Travis Richard behind him, with David McLeod taking up his rear, Kyle Scott, Dave Pickram Justin Kane, I believe, and Jonathan Roussel in 14th. 14 cars in the GT3 class, actually. I said 13 earlier, but we might have seen another join in, so love to see it. And over in our GR86 class, right behind them, we see Adam Benoit taking pole position with Matt Postma, Mike Postma. I'm not sure. We'll see. Mike Postma in second position. Tim O'Connor, Tristan Keeping, Mitchell Parker, Jonathan Mazerol, James Barrington, Graham Garber, and I believe Chris Hare, who is a new face. Cameron Hare, sorry, who's a new face for tonight. Very momentarily, I believe everyone but Tyler Richards is on the grid here, and then we will be away for our formation lap. And there we see him take to the grid. All of our cars lined up, ready to go, and off we go. If you're just joining us, drop in the chat what province you're going to be supporting for tonight. Let's see it. Those two BMWs right next to each other, followed by the Porsche and the Lamborghini. Lamborghini sponsored by KMR Race Room, your best place to go racing in New Brunswick. And here are the two teammates right next to each other, Victory Burger. Beautiful blue and red liveries with the Kool-Aid in front, my personal favorite. And we're coming up to the start of the race here. Nate Campbell's taking it slow, holding everybody back. And there, we get it. Green, green, green. Let's go. Off we go. Everyone's staying tight. Jacob Durden's falling off just a little bit there. Nate and Adrian side by side. And Nate pulls through. Look back to the GR86. Oh, and we have a little bit of contact. Mitchell Parker off the track, hit by the Kool-Aid car. Unfortunate. You hate to see that. Super strong qualifying and back to the back of the pack. That is devastating. Campbell still showing us some strong stuff here. Adrian Werson with Renee French right on his bumper. He's going to have to do everything he can to hold that position. As we look back, Jacob Durden's staying right next to Sean. As they take to the first bank of the race. We're coming up to the bus stop here. Oh, side by side, right through, over the curb, and Renee spins a little bit. Will he be able to save it? And he does. He regains the track, but he loses the positions. He goes back to 7th place. You hate to see that, folks. Tim O'Connor side by side with James Barrington. James Barrington pulls out ahead. Takes off on him. Here the Porsches are going into battle with Jacob Durden right on their tail. Adrian Werson seems to have gotten the worst of whatever Renee French got into there, as he also dropped a few places. Got really close side-by-side racing from Graham and Jeremy Mazrol, I believe, maybe Tim O'Connor, sorry. And they're coming into the first turn, really hard on it. You've got to stay in that white line there, past, or you're going to get a ×1 track penalty. As we see the GT3s snaking through out onto the bank. Mason McDonald there, side by side with Renee French. Renee's not giving him much. He's gonna try to hold on to that. We'll look to the front where Nate Campbell seems to have taken off a little bit, leaving everyone in his trail. With Tyler Richard showing us some good stuff. And hoping to catch him at some point. Starting that drafting train with Sean, Durden, and Adrian, and Worson, sorry. And we see the map on the screen here. We're seeing the GT3s just in a train here. They're not giving up much. The GR86s do seem to have spread out a little bit more, with some good battles at the front and the back of the pack, and the middle of the pack, sorry. And we're seeing Campbell soon to come up to the back runner of the GR86, Parker. Unfortunate, Parker, not Postma. Parker was involved in that first incident there with James Barrington, which sent him a little bit out into the wall. So we see our GT3s go by. He will be upset about that one, I'm sure. That looks to have been Travis Richard taking it a little bit too wide there. Possibly going over the curb. Jacob Durden sending it hard in, late on the brakes. Trying to take that position from Sean. Giving him lots of space. Will it be enough? It looks like it. He's on the racing line there, pushing Sean a little bit wide. We'll see if he snakes his way past. It's going to be a close one. Incredible sportsmanship from the two. Wonderful racing. But Sean's not going to let that go. He's going to take that right back. Try his very best to hold that. You can see out in the distance off of his onboard, Nate Campbell still wildly in the lead, but you do see Tyler Richard slowly catching up there. I think with enough drafting and enough mistakes from Nate Campbell, he could see first position. And Jacob Durden and Sean Perry still battling it out. The gorgeous Canada livery. On board with 30. He thinks it's enough. Will it be? Maybe not. Unless we see him late on the brakes like last time. it might just not be enough. Sean's on the inside line there. He has all the power in the world. Let's see what he does with it. And flies right by. Incredible. Mason McDonald, David McLeod, back here in 8th, 9th, battling it out. And back to Nate. Slowly making his way around the track. Just a little bit faster than Tyler Richard. This track, incredibly long, 5.7 kilometers, one of the longest ones we've had so far. David wants that position. He's going to be close to his bumper the entire time, filling up his mirrors with orange. And Travis with the late move on Pickram. And he's going to make it stick. And send it right by him. As we look to Rene French, who's slowly working his way up the pack, battling out with Tristan Richard right now. Side by side, into the bus stop. Looks like Rene French is going to take that one, and he does. As we pass by our lapped GR86 cars. We're seeing lots of movement up front. Lots of stuff going on. As the entire GT3 pack snakes their way through basically the whole GR86 pack. Oh, very close for Rene there. These two still battling it out, David and Mason. Mason's not letting much slide, not letting many mistakes through. Travis is still showing us a very defensive game on Kane, it looks like. Rene has given it everything he's possibly got to get back up to the front of the pack. We know he can do it. We've seen his pace consistently every single week. But will it be enough tonight? These cars are moving so quickly around this track. Oh, and up front, we just saw Worsen squeeze by the side of the GR86 car. That could have went poorly if he had have moved up a little bit more into the wall. You see that drafting effect there, just how much closer he gets on all these huge long straights. Flat out, essentially the entire way around both corners. Not going to be able to get that much, but that drafting takes you places. He's going to come up beside him. Jacob Durden has all the power here. He's just got to brake super late, hold it into that first corner, and take the horseshoes with grace. As we look to our GR86, we're seeing a little bit of movement here. Postma making his way up. He was back in 7th a little minute ago. Now up in 4th position. As Kane makes his way by the first battle, not the first battle, but one of the battles in the GR86 class. And oh, we saw some movement there. Jacob Durden wasn't able to hold on to it. Rene French was able to get by. He's looking for that podium with Adrian Worsen only a little bit ahead, only a couple seconds ahead. He's got the pace. Let's see him prove it. Quick thank you to everybody who's tuning in here tonight. We're super happy to see you. Losing a little bit of time here. Not able to keep right on the bumper of Rene French. And we look back and we're still seeing this battle. Dave is not giving up anything. He wants the bumper of Mason McDonald. Maybe after enough laps, he might just be able to squeeze by. Let's take another look back to the front of the race, where we see Nate Campbell still, who has the fastest lap at the minute, and is a good 4 seconds ahead of second place Tyler Richard. We'll see if he has a chance to catch up here, as we see Adrian Werson right on his tail. As we look to our GR86 class, these two are still battling it out. Graham Garber and James Barrington. Garber in the back. He's looking for that position, making his way up. At the front of the GR86 class, we have Adam Benoit, who I mentioned earlier as honestly our strongest driver in this class. We've seen lots of good stuff out of him, and every week he shows up so consistently. Last week, 2 weeks ago, sorry, we had our mid-season break last week, but 2 weeks ago we saw Adam with the win at Okayama International Circuit. So we look to the back of our GT3s. We're seeing some movement. Travis Richard is making moves on Dave Pickler and holding up that spot. Shiji Futsu. Yes, Nathan always going crazy. We see that a lot out of him. He's such an incredibly strong driver. We are so blessed to have him here in this league. And only if Matt Jones was out here tonight, we might actually see him with a battle. We'll take a look to Tyler Richard, who's still giving a strong stop. He has slipped a little back, about a third of a second off of Nate's bumper. So we might not see him catch tonight, but Adrian Werson definitely is still right there, right in his mirrors. And back just a little bit, French is coming strongly, but Jacob Durden seems to have been the last lap. He's actually closed that gap just a little bit. All these straights are adding up. We might see something out of Tristan Richard back there. We'll see. And to take a look at the map here on screen, you can see that our race has spread out a little bit more as our oh no! Graham Garber gets pushed and turned around by James Barrington. Hopefully that's the only position he loses on that move. And we're seeing a car go into the pits. Generally speaking, our GR86s don't have to have a pit stop, but our GT3s do. They have a mandatory pit stop. So we'll see how that shakes up. Sometimes we run out of fuel in the GR86s, and that's that. We'll take a pit stop, but not entirely sure why Cameron Hare went in there. Unless he bottles it into the final corner is right. Last race, we saw him with super strong stuff. First position. However, our incidents were not set up quite correctly, so we had a penalty after every 10 incidents, which was a little unfortunate for Nate, as we saw Rene French hit his bumper in the very last lap trying to make that desperation move. That sent him from first place to P8 for his race finish. So he's definitely going to have to pick up his slack here. We saw Matt Jones last week in first position in the season standings. So Nate's going to... Oh, no! Jacob Dern with the unlucky move there. We saw Mazzarol, I believe, in the GR86 spin out right into Durden. That was heartbreaking there, folks. No bumper left on him to go. He is definitely going to have to pit after this one. We'll see. Mazzarol, yeah. Jeremy Mazzarol, unfortunate. He hit the bus stop a little wide and came out right in front of Jacob Durden. He was showing us such a good race here. They're both going to go to the pits. That was wild. Anything can happen, folks. We're seeing lots of inter-class battles and battles between the classes as well. So even though most of our cars are moving at the same speeds, there you see another one. A Worsen knocks, I'm not sure exactly, knocks one of the GR86s out of the track. It happens, it's racing, but unlucky. We're seeing lots of carnage here tonight with these super high top speeds. Even less room than normal to make a move when you see an error. Wow, I cannot believe that one. We're seeing Kyle Scott battling it out with Travis Richard, who seems to have went over the bus stop. Oh, yeah, we see him slow down there, give the position back. We're watching Tyler Richard now make his way around the GR86s. Trying to catch up to Adrian Worsen there, who actually passed him. I missed that. At some point in those battles, we saw Tyler Richard drop back and Adrian Worsen back up to second where he qualified in. As we look here, we see Adam Benoit, the front runner of our GR86 class, being passed by the two GT3s now, Renee and Richard. He's showing us some strong stuff. Tristan Keeping is keeping right on his tail. Technically, should have been both of them, Parker and... Here is Mike Postma, who was the one who got bunted out by Adrian Worsen. He might have some interesting things to say. we're starting to see our pit stops in our GR86. We're seeing Perry leading them, with Mason McDonald just coming out now. We're going to see a mandatory pit stop from all of our GT3 cars this race. They have all of the choice in the world when they want to take that. A few of them have definitely already taken it. Definitely Jacob Durden, who missed his bumper in that accident at the exit of the bus stop. And we'll start to see our drivers make their way back out onto the track here. This has been incredibly exciting so far. We're seeing Nathan Campbell make his way to the pits. We'll see how this all shakes up. We know Werson and Tyler have not made their pits yet. Nate French, Tristan Richard haven't made their pits yet. So we'll probably see Nate Campbell work his way back up as they decide. We're looking back at the P1 and P2 of the GR86. They're staying incredibly close and they have all race. It's definitely going to come down to the last second. Hot on his tail. Coming across the line. We'll see who breaks later into the first corner here. And I don't think it's going to matter. Adam Benoit is holding that defensive line really well. Great corner exit there, speeding away from Tristan Keeping. As we look back a little bit to James Barrington and Graham Garber, who had a bit of a brawl earlier in the race here that sent Barrington, sent Garber sideways. So he's given that position back to avoid an incident from race control. If you're watching the stream right now, feel free to check out the description and join our Discord where... Oh no! Mason McDonald sideways! Travis Richard might have hit him a little bit there. They were battling it out, but I guess he didn't want to battle anymore. He was ready to pass him. We're seeing our front runners of the GT3 class into the pits now, so soon things will start to shake back out. We see Nate Campbell jump to the top of the leaderboard, making his way by the 7th place car in the GR86 class. He's taking those super wide, getting every ounce of track he can out of it. And it's really showing that it's working. He is pulling away. He's doing such a good job here tonight. We are seeing some of our final cars come back out for their pit stop. Seeing some pretty consistent stuff out. Oh, and Travis onto the grass there, trying to make a move on the GR car, but not quite. We're seeing some pretty consistent stuff from the front of our pack here. First for Nathan Campbell, Adrian Werson, Tyler Richard, and Renee French, all qualified in their respective positions. Tristan Richard is showing us some strong stuff, having moved from 7th all the way up to 5th. Passing Scott and Durden off the start there. Sean Perry, unfortunately, he's dropped down quite a bit from his 5th place qualifying. We hate to see it. Still in top 10 though, so really strong stuff. Here's Mason trying to hold that position from Sean after being turned a little sideways by Travis, I believe. Side by side through the final corner, coming across the line. It's going to be a battle into the first turn. Mason on the inside line here, which I'm really loving his livery. Oh no! Where did they go? They were sent right out of the track there. McDonald slowly regaining it. It looks like Sean was able to hold that one, but unlucky for Mason. Driving on board with him now. He's making his moves on the GR86 cars, trying to retake his positions. And it looks like Mason has a black flag for that one. He's going to have to go and take a drive-through penalty. So his 10th place could very easily turn 7th. We're still seeing some really close battles in the GR86 class. James Burnington now on the tail of Graham Garber. They've been doing some flip-flopping all race. We look up to Travis and Kyle Scott. Coming through the bus stop. Neck and neck. And it's looking like, due to the pit strategy of Nate Campbell up in first, Adrian Werson has closed that gap. He's just right behind him there. Coming through the corner about 3 or 4 seconds after. We'll see if he can make anything of this. The 2 BMWs at the front of the field. Tyler Richard with the unfortunate drop off the back. Rene French seems to be right on his tail as well, so we could see a battle for the 3rd and final podium spot. And we see Mason McDonald finally take his pit stop here. And it looks like we just have Jonathan Roussel, who actually was not competing here. I'm not sure if I'm sure he started. I saw him there on the grid, but he seems to have dropped out of 16 laps ago. So unfortunate stuff there. As we look to the front of the GR Cup class again, we're still seeing that battle for first and second, letting the Mason through there. I'm sure at this point most of the drivers have seen at least a spin out and are all just a little bit nervous every time they see that GT3 up in the air. They come up incredibly quick. Some corners you barely even see them coming. Christy Keeping is keeping very consistent, but so is Adam Benoit. It's going to be whoever makes a mistake first is going to walk away a little sour. We look to Adrian Werson making his way by our GR86. Slowly dropping off from Nate. Nate's been showing us a few really strong laps here. As he makes his way across the line for the 17th time. Or so. Possibly more. He's being very consistent. And he's really not making any mistakes here. Adrian Worson also makes his way by and is gonna be chasing him down. As we look back just a little bit farther, we see Tyler Richard, who, I don't know what happened to him, but he seems to be slowing down. And Renee French behind him, who looks to be still giving it everything he's got. He's slowly closing those gaps. It's a little bit tougher when you're farther away. You don't get quite as much of the drafting effect. But we'll see what he can make of this. With only 6 minutes left in the race, it's coming down to a close here, and we're gonna see our final order here soon. With a few battles left on the field, a few guys moving around, we'll see how they finally finish. And we'll hope and cross our fingers that Nate Campbell can hold on to his first place and not get into it with a GR86 or likewise. And these guys in the GR86s are not going to give this up. They're going to be fighting right until the very end. Tristan Keeping from Nova Scotia, as well as Adam Benoit. And we saw a lot of Team Newfoundland here in their BMW M2s, but here tonight, Nova Scotia is giving it their all. Oh, and he's finally getting close enough to start making those moves on him. We're gonna see who has more confidence in their brakes going into this next corner here. And it's Keeping. He makes his way by Benoit. Will he hold on to it for just 4 more minutes, under 4 more minutes? He's been consistent all race. You see all of the gorgeous ASRL liveries logos all over his car. I'm sure they add probably an extra 10 horsepower at least. Adam Benoit, due to the scoring, is actually back up in first. He seems to have made that work around the outside. But coming into the first corner here, Tristan Keeping has that inside line. We're still seeing the same consistent stuff from the GT3s. Nate Campbell still in the lead, with Adrian Worson slowly cutting that gap off. Now we're seeing Tim O'Connor come into this first place battle. It's going to be right to the very end, folks. And here soon, we're gonna see some GT3 cars come on through these guys. So hopefully they can all hold their lines. These guys up front, they've been showing us a great race here. GT3s around the outside, coming into the braking zone, and they make their way through cleanly. And it looks that Werson has moved up a little bit. No, just a timing error. Go watch our Sean Perry and Kyle Scott back in 7th and 8th, the GT3, making moves on each other, side by side. And Barrington back and forth after that that battle for the podium. Sean Perry and Kyle Scott around the bank, up to the start line. With only a minute and 30 to go, we are almost there, folks. We are deciding the order right as we speak. Sean Perry wants to keep that 8th place. But Kyle Scott seems to just be a little bit ahead. But he's going to send it down the inside and push Kyle wide. Incredible stuff. And we'll take another look at Benoit. Still battling it out. Seems to have made his way back to the front. Not giving Tristan much. And Tim O'Connor even seems to have dropped off the back of that battle. But might very well have his own with James Barrington there, who seems to be getting a little close. I think we're missing a car on our timing here, not Barrington, but yeah, the two battles up for the front right here. Mike Postma. Oh, sorry, this is in the back. He's a back runner. Still, good to see battles. And Benoit is making his way away from Tristan Keeping. He does not want to see him in any of his mirrors. So he's going to give it his all. Oh, and he hits the wall there on the outside, slowing him down just a little bit. That might give Tristan Keeping a chance. We are coming into our final, we are on our final lap here. So whatever they make of this is our final order. We got Nate Campbell making his way. He's out of the infield. He's coming around the banks for the final time tonight. Mike Postma still battling it out there. Graham Garber behind him. And we saw it again. We saw them switch. Tristan Keeping. He takes the lead from Adam Benoit, who's been holding it all race long. As we see our GT3s fly by the outside, we are coming across the line for the final time here. We're going to be side by side. What is it going to be? And we're going to see Adam Benoit. And I could be wrong. There might still be one more. Our timing sometimes is a little bit off. But that would be Nate Campbell coming across the line for the final time. Adrian Werson behind him. Nate Campbell showed us great stuff all race. Then in third, Tyler Richard. So actually, folks, we do have one more lap still on our GR cars. But our GT3 cars are coming to an end here. That's Renee French in fourth, with Tristan Richard, who fell off just a little bit, but is coming across the line in fifth. Jacob Durden, who showed us some really strong stuff all race, but had that unfortunate unforced error by him. The GR86 car came flying into his path after the bus stop and ended his race there. And to still hold a sixth place out of that is pretty impressive. Then we see Travis Richard, behind him. back in 7th position. Coming across the line right after him, we see Perry and Scott. Over in our GR86 Cup, we're seeing Benoit and Tristan Keeping still battling it out here. Coming around for the final time, we saw Benoit take that back there. He was not going to let that go. He's been holding on to it all race, and he wasn't going to just give it up to Tristan on the very last lap. Super strong stuff. In 11th position, 10th position, sorry, in our GT3s, we had David McLeod, followed by Dave Pickram. And then we're coming across the line in our GR86s, flashing the lights in show of celebration. Probably super happy with that podium. And here we have it, folks. Adam Benoit is your first place GR86. Tristan Keeping right on his tail. Tim O'Connor following them up, who seems to have already been to the pits, and James Barrington. And here's our victory donuts, folks. We can't do without him. Nate Campbell showing us what that BMW can do all race long. Super impressive out of him. And we love our donuts here. Our burnouts are donuts. Make those tires smoke. Congrats, you have earned it. For all those of you watching, thank you so much for joining us tonight. We are always super incredibly happy to see everyone out here enjoying the stream, watching the stream. So if you really enjoyed and you're not already subscribed, subscribe, and we'd love to see you next week. Same time, next week we will be going to Charlotte Motor Speedway Roval. So we'll have a pretty similar race with lots of banking, lots of drafting, and lots of fast cars. So next Friday at 9:30 p.m. We'll see you back here again. Thank you for tuning in. This has been such a fun night. We saw lots of good stuff. The first lap battle between Parker, which sent him out of the race. We saw Jacob Durden with an unfortunate crash with Jeremy Mazarol from the GR86s. And we saw Nate with a domineering win at Daytona International Speedway. And another big shout out to Adam Benoit, who has been just showing us great stuff every single week. So we're super happy to see them at the front of the podium there. And yeah, we'll catch you next time. Thank you so much. I hope everyone has a great night and quite enjoyed, because I know I did. So tune in soon, and we'll be posting the race highlights for anything that you might have missed. And we'll see you next week.